glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Riding my bike down a haunted hill, if the wind don't catch me, then nothing will. It don't much matter if I'm Jack or Jill, I'm glad to be who I am. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am.
Hello. Hi, Boston, Waltham, Lynn, Salem, Webster. I know a lot of you guys are out there today. My name's Judith Black, and I'm going to be your storyteller for these tales about kids who saved the day. When you save the day, you know how you feel? You feel glad to be who you are. I want to teach you that song because we're going to sing it through the whole series, and it's really fun. So I'm going to sing the first line, and I want to hear you sing it back after me. Very easy. It's this easy. Listen to this. I'm so glad to be who I am. Check it out. Take a deep breath. Sing it with me. I'm so glad to be who I am. Excellent. One more time. Breathe deep. I'm so glad to be who I am. Gorgeous. You get the second line. Goes like this. Glad to be who I am. Try it. Breathe first. Glad to be who I am. Again. Glad to be who I am. Excellent. Whole thing. Breathe. I'm so glad to be who I am. Glad to be who I am. Again. I'm so glad to be who I am. Glad to be who I am. I'll do the verses, you do the chorus. Riding the bike down a haunted hill, if the wind don't catch me, then nothing will. It don't much matter if I'm Jack or I'm Jill, 'cause I'm glad to be who I am. Your turn. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sing it again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I got a question for the girls and the grown-up women. How many of you girls or grown-up women have ever climbed up into a tree house? Yell me when I point. Ready?
Yes.
Yes! How many of you girls or grown-up women helped to build that tree house? Yell me when I point. This is for the treehouse builders out there. In my backyard, there's a big old tree. We're building a house there, my sister and me. My mom climbs up for a cup of tea. Woo-hoo, it's chamomile. How nice, girls. Yeah, Ma, you know what? I'm glad to be who I am. Your turn. I'm so glad to be who I am. Glad to be who I am. Clap with me, I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I got a question for the boys and the grown-up men. How many of you guys have ever wanted to be entertainers? Dancers, comedians, rock and roll stars? Yell me when I point. This voice is for you. Well, I like to sing and I like to dance. I could be an actor if they give me a chance. And I don't look funny in my leotard pants. No, they help me move better, yeah they do. I'm glad to be who I am. It's your turn. I'm so glad to be who I am. Glad to be who I am. Sing it again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sometimes it's not easy to be glad to be who you are. And our first story today is about two children who are having a very difficult time being glad to be who they were. And whenever they get into trouble, they're going to ask you to help them. And this is how you're going to help, by singing. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. And a safe home you'll find. Ready to try that with me? Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. And a safe home you'll find. That's all you need to know to help me with this story. The tale of Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel into the woods. Hansel and Gretel into the woods. Hansel and Gretel into the woods, to the deep, 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 dark wood. Once, near a deep, deep, dark wood, lived a woodcutter, his wife, and two children. Times were very, very hard.
Husband, we have only one loaf of bread left. We shall starve to death. We must take the children and do something with them.
But wife, they are our children.
You might as well plane the planks for our coffins. All four of us will die, or maybe two of us will live. I know. We'll take the children into the woods. Nature will be merciful to them. We will leave them there. But wife, it is decided then, tomorrow morning.
Hansel and Gretel could hear everything from in their bed. Hansel, what shall we do? Help them think by singing. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind, and a safe home you'll find. Gretel, I have an idea. You wait right here. And Hansel, he slipped out of bed through the empty kitchen and into the moonlight, where he found white stones that glistened. He filled his pockets, and then he and Gretel went to sleep for the night.
Wake up, children! Wake up! It's time for us to go into the woods. Now listen, you may each have one slice of bread. Don't gobble it down. It's all you have for the day. Now follow us into the woods. Hansel, why do you keep turning around? What are you looking at?
Mother, dearest, I'm saying goodbye to my white cat, which is on the roof.
You silly boy. That is the sun shining on the roof.
But the truth was that every time Hansel turned around, he placed one of those white stones down, making a path.
Now, children, here we are. We'll build a big fire. You can stay warm here. Your father and I are going to chop wood. We'll be back for you.
And Hansel and Gretel could hear the sound of their father's axe against a tree. See, Hansel? They really haven't left us. Maybe not, Gretel. Let's eat. I've been keeping your piece of bread for you here. And when they were done with their slice of bread, which didn't take long, they fell asleep by the fire. When they awoke, it was dark. Hansel? Don't worry, Gretel. I still hear Father's axe. Let's just find the sound. Oh. Because when they did, they saw it was just a log attached to a vine hitting against the trunk of a tree. Hansel? Don't worry, Gretel. We still have the white stones. Look, now that the moon's up full, they're glimmering in the light. We can find our way home. And they did.
Oh, children! I was so worried about you. I told you to come home as soon as it started to get dark. Now hurry, come into the house. Now go to sleep.
But soon enough, times grew even worse.
Husband, we have only half a loaf of bread left to eat. They shall find the bones of all of us. We must leave the children in the woods to fend for themselves. But we did it once before, it will work. We'll just go deeper.
And in their bedroom, don't worry, Gretel, I'll do what I did last time. But when Hansel tried the kitchen door, it was locked tight, and the latch was too high for him to reach. Hansel, what shall we do? Help them think. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind, and a safe home you'll find.
Wake up, children. We must go into the woods deep today. Now, I can only afford to give you one slice of bread in 2 pieces. Here, one for each of you. Don't gobble it down. Now, hurry, hurry, let us go. Hansel, why do you keep turning around?
I'm saying goodbye to my white dove on the roof.
Silly, that is just the sun glimmering on the roof.
But Hansel, he had crushed the breadcrumbs in his pocket, and he was putting them down every time he turned to make a path.
Now, children, here we are, deep in the woods. A big fire for you to sleep by. Your father and I will come and get you as soon as the sun goes down.
Hansel, are you hungry? Yes, Gretel, I am. We have only this half slice, but I'll share it with you. And after they ate, they fell asleep. And when the moon rose full, they awoke. Hansel, don't worry, Gretel. All we have to do is find the breadcrumbs and we can get... Oh, no. Gretel, they're gone. Hansel, breadcrumbs. The birds ate them. What shall we do? Let's sleep. And they did. With the rock as the pillow and the stars as their blanket, they slept. And the next day they wandered through the deep, dark woods with only some berries to eat. They knew which ones were safe. Their father had taught them that. And on the 3rd day, they were nearly starved to death when a white bird came singing. Oh, Hansel, look, it's so beautiful. Gretel, it's trying to lead us somewhere. But what is beautiful is not always trustworthy, because it led them. Oh, look, Hansel, have you ever seen anything like it? No, Gretel. The house was like none they'd ever seen. Melted sugar for windows. Oh, shutters made of chocolate. And the wonderful pieces all outside were made of licorice and gumdrops. And Hansel, yes, Gretel, let's eat. And they ran up to that house and they grabbed off pieces and, oh. And from inside, they heard a voice.
Nibbling, nibbling like a mouse. Who's that nibbling at my house?
Now help them, because here they have to. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind, and a safe home you'll find. But they were too hungry.
Nibbling, nibbling like the wind. It's just the child of the wind they're in. Oh, Gretel, this is so good. Yes, Hansel.
And they kept eating until an old woman came from the house.
Children!
You see, darlings, witches have terrible vision, but children they can smell a mile off, especially boys.
Oh, there you are. Oh, you poor little children. Lost on you, dears? You must be starving. Come into my house. I'll give you something good to eat.
Help them. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. And a safe home you'll find. But they were so scared and hungry. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Come, children, sit. I have big plates of food. Pancakes with sugar and apples and nuts, and here are 2 glasses of milk. Eat up, you poor, delicious, hungry little children. Oh, you gobbled that up, didn't you? Now I know how you've been. Would you like to rest in these 2 lovely beds? Quilts and goose pillows. Have a nice sleep, children. And Hansel and Gretel thought they were in heaven. But the next morning... Boy child! Yes, definitely smells like a boy child. Yes, into the cage with you. I'm going to fatten you up and have you for a special stew. You, girl child, out of the bed. You'll sleep on the floor from now on. You shall be my slave. We're fattening up the boy child. Now here, dear, feed him. Oh, my. Pork and burgers and shakes. Hansel, the witch is trying to fatten you up so she can eat you. Look, I stole a chicken bone. She has terrible vision, so whenever she asks to feel your finger and see if you're fat, stick this bone through the cage. I guess eat whatever you like. Thank you, Gretel. I know you've saved me. Ha! Girl child, come here. You may eat crayfish shells. Enjoy, dear. And every day, the witch went to the cage, and after Hansel had eaten, she said, now put your finger out. Thin as a bone. What a metabolism you must have. Wish I had a metabolism like that. Wouldn't have to go to witches' Weight Watchers. Girl child, are you feeding him everything? Yes, witch, I am. But after a full month of waiting, the witch was tired and wanted to eat. I'm hungry after all. We're going to eat him tomorrow morning, no matter what. Help them. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind. Hansel and Gretel, use your heart and mind, and a safe home you'll find. Now, girl child, oh, what a lovely morning. Food, glorious food, boy, sausage with mustard. Check the oven, dear, see if it's hot enough for this bread. Hey, it's the old girl in the oven trick. I'll have her as an hors d'oeuvre, skinny as she is. Go ahead, dear, just climb. I don't know how. What do you mean you don't know how? What are you, stupid? I'm only a girl child. You said I didn't smell as good. I said as bad as him. Now go check the oven. Will you show me how it works? Oh, yeah, the stupidest thing. I can't believe it. You open the oven like this. But I'll never get through that opening. It's easy. But you show me? You are stupid. I am. I am so stupid. Please show me which. You go like this. You just stick your head in and you see if it's warm. Gretel had grown so strong from a month of laboring for the witch that when she stuck her head in and her was sticking out, Gretel took a great running leap. Oh, sorry, it was eat or be eaten. Hansel! Hansel! The witch is in the oven! You're free! Hansel! Yes, Gretel? I said to eat what I brought you, but not everything. But it tasted great. Oh, come on, we gotta get out of here. Let's look around first. And when they did, they discovered there were jewels and diamonds, and they filled their pockets. Then they went running till they came to a lake. How are we gonna get through it? Oh, Gretel, I don't think I'm in any shape to swim. Look, there's a duck. Duck, would you please take us across? We've killed the evil witch. Be glad to help because she's eaten a lot of my relatives under glass. Come on. Let's just hop on. I don't think so. Hansel, you're a little big. I think we'll tether you with a rope. And the duck pulling the rope with Gretel on top, went to the other side of the lake. "Thank you, duck!" And they went running off. And soon enough, they saw a woodcutter's hut. And running from it came there, "Children, my children, I have missed you so. I've not had a moment's peace since we left you in the woods. Father, Father, we're glad to be here." "Father, we hate to ask, but where is—" "Oh, children, your mother, she's gone. She burnt her finger when she was trying to warm herself, and when she put it to her mouth, the meat tasted so good she started to eat, and she couldn't stop. Ate her whole self." "Ate her whole self?" "Ooh, that reminds me, Father, I have to go on a diet." "All right, son." And they pulled out the jewels. They sold them. Hansel and Gretel and their father, they lived together, never went hungry again, and lived happily ever after. Hansel and Gretel out of the woods. Hansel and Gretel out of the woods. Hansel and Gretel out of the woods and into the great sunshine. Whew. If you could do that, you know how you'd feel? You'd be able to sing. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sing it with me. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. They had good hearts and minds, used them both to get out of a bind. Wealth, love, a safe home they did find. They were glad to be who they were. And I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Oh, I don't know if any of you have ever been that scared. But one time I got lost from my mother, and I was as scared as the day was long. Where I used to live in Pittsburgh, we had a family park day. And the whole family would go to Kennywood. It was an amusement park. And there were thousands of rides and the smell of cotton candy and popcorn and noise and millions of kids. Our whole family went, my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters, my grandparents, and a big, big container of fried chicken. Well, my mom, she took me to go on the merry-go-round. I think I had just turned 6 years old, and it was the first year that I was allowed to go on one of the animals that went up and down. You know how you could sit on the ones that don't do anything and it's really boring? But I got to go on the unicorn, and the unicorn went up and down. And my mom helped me get on the unicorn, and she said, "I'll be right over here, dear." And the ride started, and I went around. And every time I went around, I looked for my mommy, and I waved. I held onto the unicorn horn. I was very proud. Hi, hi. And then I'd lose her and go around again. Hi, hi. And then I'd go around again, and she wasn't there. We went around 2 more times, and I couldn't see my mommy. And then the ride, you know how it slows down? And I thought she'd be there to help me get off the unicorn. And she wasn't, and I didn't know where she was. And I was really scared. But I'd seen lots of cowboy shows, and I remembered what I saw, so I held on to the unicorn, and I threw one leg over the back, and I eased myself off the side. And I thought, I'm going to be lost in this place with 1 million people. And then I remembered what my uncle said to me. He said, if you're ever lost, just stand in one place, that's safest. And then I remembered that where my mommy was standing was right underneath a big picture of a lion being tamed. So I walked around and I found that picture, and I was still scared, but I stood there. And after a minute, guess who was standing beside me? Oh, honey, I just had to sit down for a minute. I was so tired. Oh, that's okay, Mom. I found you. My mommy at the park I could not find. I looked for her by the big lion sign with that one picture in my mind. I was glad to be who I was. It's your turn. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. One of the things that I would love you to do is to think about a time that you got lost from a mother or a father or brother or sister, someone who was supposed to be watching you, and how you figured out what to do. How did you save the day when you got lost somewhere, like I did or like Hansel and Gretel did? And if you can make those stories, make them with pictures or with words and send them in to me, well, I'll tell your story, or maybe I'll even make up a song verse about it. I'll sing a song just about you, a time you were lost and what you did do, what was right and how you knew how to be glad to be who you were. Sing it. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sing it again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. You sound good. It's hard to be glad to be who you are when you're being chased by a witch. Now, a witch who lives in a great candy house is one thing. And students from the Northeast School in Waltham and the Halifax Elementary School in Halifax have sent us some pictures about the house that Hansel and Gretel walked into. We are talking delicious. Some of these houses are surrounded by candy canes, and others have beautiful houses. Beautiful houses, beautiful shutters and fronts and doors. But our next story is about a witch that does not live in a house nearly this stunning. No, 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 no. This was a European witch. The witch you're going to meet lives in a house with a fence made of human bones. On each bone is a human skull. Look. The house itself stands on 1, 2, 3 chicken legs. The latch to the door is made from a human arm and the lock from human. You got it. This witch rides around in a mortar and propels herself with a pestle. She has teeth of iron, but you don't have to worry. She only ever eats the bad Russian children. Her name, Baba Yaga. In this country, sometimes they call her bony legs. And in this story, I'm going to need your help in 2 ways. There's a boy named Sasha who gets in trouble, and every time he does, he asks his friends for help. And this is what he does. He goes, "Run, cat, run. Fly, bird, fly. Help me quick before I die." Because he's in trouble with the witch. See if you can help me with that one. We're going to start by running. Ready? Run, cat, run. Fly, bird, fly. Help me quick before I die. Oh, you guys are great. I can hear you choking yourselves. Do it one more time. We'll speed it up a little. Ready? And run, cat, run. Fly, bird, fly. Help me quick before I die. Awesome. The other time I'm going to need your help is when Sasha opens his big mouth, but he shouldn't, and you're going to say to him, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it." We can warn him, can't we? Try it with me. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Excellent. You're ready for the story of Sasha the Youth and Baba Yaga the Witch. Once, at the edge of the Russian wood, lived a bird, a cat, and their best friend, Sasha, the youth.
Meow. Meow, Sasha. Today, the bird and I are going to chop wood. Now listen, meow. If Baba Yaga comes to the house, whatever you do, meow, keep your big mouth shut.
Yes, Sasha, absolutely. As long as you keep your big mouth shut, Baba Yaga the witch can't bother you because you'll be a good child, not a bad one. Okay? Hey, you guys, What makes you think I cannot keep my mouth shut? You know me. You know me. I cannot talk all the time. You know, I don't have to talk. Just because the witch comes here, I'll keep my mouth shut. Why would the witch want to come here anyway? No problem, you guys. I can...
Well, just remember, Sasha.
Yes, please. You are our friend. No problem, you guys. Have a good day chopping wood.
Well, make a good dinner.
Yes, don't burn the borscht. And the bird and the cat, they were halfway across the field when the back door opened. You can make this squeaky sound with me if you want. Ready? And in walked Baba Yaga, the witch. Sasha, he ran behind the pot-bellied stove and shoved his fist in his mouth as she went over to the meal table.
I'm hungry, you know, and I want to eat, but the spoon of the bird, it's been touched by a beak. I'm hungry, you know, and hunger gnaws, but the spoon of the cat, it's been touched by a claw. But here it is, the spoon of the youth. It'll soothe my hunger, and that's the...
Sasha started to tremble behind the great pot-bellied stove. Warn him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Woo! Baba Yaga, get your dirty, filthy hands off of my spoon. That is my spoon, and you shouldn't. And Baba Yaga the witch grabbed Sasha up, threw him in her mortar, and began to propel herself away with her pestle. And when they were halfway across the field, Sasha cried out, "Run, cat, run! Fly, bird, fly! Help me quick before I..." The bird came flying, the cat came running, the bird pecked at her eyes, the cat scratched at her arms.
Yeah, we was too skinny anyway.
Hey, Baba Yaga, you dropped me right on my...
Well, be glad you're alive, Sasha.
That's right, Sasha, please don't complain. Let's go home and eat borscht. I hope it's not burnt. Well, next day, they warned him again.
Well, Sasha, if the witch comes, whatever you do...
That's right, Sasha, if the witch comes, keep...
your big
mouth. Hey, you guys, what makes you think I can't keep my big mouth shut? Don't worry, I opened my mouth last time. I saw what happens. The witch gets to take me. I ain't going to do that again because I don't want to go with the witch. No problem, no problem, no problem.
Wow.
Next day, Cat and the bird were halfway across the field when the back door... You can help me if you want. Ready? And in walked Baba Yaga, the witch. Sasha jumped behind the great pot-bellied stove and stuck his fist in his mouth.
I'm hungry, you know, and I want to eat, but the spoon of the bird, it's been touched by a beak, very unkosher. I'm hungry, you know, and hunger gnaws, but the spoon of the cat, it's been touched by a claw. Ooh, no good meat on that. But here it is, the spoon of the youth. It'll soothe my hunger, and that's the...
Help him out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Baba Yaga, get your filthy, dirty hands off of my spoon. That is my spoon, and I really should not. She grabbed him up, threw him in her mortar, propelled herself with her pestle, and when they were halfway across the field, Sasha cried out, "Ready? Help me. Run, cat, run! Fly, bird, fly! Help me quick before I..." Oh, honey, you gotta do it much louder than that. Ready? Run, cat, run! Fly, bird, fly! Help me quick before I... They could just hear an echo of his distress, but the cat came running, the bird came flying, the bird pecked at her eyes, cat scratched at her arms.
Hey, it was too skinny anyway.
Hey, Baba Yaga,
I'll be glad you're alive.
That's right, Sasha, let's go home, dear. The next day, they had it with him.
Well, Sasha, we're going very, very far.
That's right, Sasha, please, whatever you do.
Hey, you're big.
I know you guys, don't worry, I can delay my gratification. I will not scream. If the witch is here, I will let her do whatever she has to do. I will scream after she is gone. It is not a big problem. Have a good day, you guys. Goodbye. This time, they were all the way across the field when the back door, ready? And in walked Baba Yaga the... Sasha stood behind the pot-bellied stove with his fist.
I'm hungry, you know, and I want to eat, but the spoon of the bird, it's been touched by a... Oh, yeah, very good. I'm hungry, you know, and hunger gnaws, but the spoon of the cat, it's been touched by a... Oh, you're quick. I like you guys. But here it is, the spoon of the youth. It'll soothe my hunger, and that's the... They know it. Why doesn't he? I said it'll soothe my hunger, and that's the...
And Sasha couldn't stand it.
I said that's... I think I'll just clean it in my armpit.
Baba Yaga, get my spoon out of your... She threw him in her mortar, propelled herself with her pestle, and no matter how loudly he cried, no one could hear him, until they landed in a fence made of human bones. And on each bone was a human. The house stood on 1, 2, 3. Do you remember? Yeah, Miss Yaga, you ain't never gonna get into better homes and gardens like us.
Be quiet, youth. Come on in.
She stuck an M&M in the teeth. They opened. Oh, you ought to brush them more often. Be quiet, youth.
Girls, schlep, fetch, nudnik, come here, girls. I have some youth to cook.
And Baba Yaga's 3 daughters came.
Now, let's see, schlep, cook this youth.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go make mischief.
Now, get into the pan, youth. Hey, I don't know how, Miss Schlep. Like this? No, get into the pan right. Hey, like this? No, do it right. Hey, Miss Schlep, I don't know how to do it. Maybe you could show me. And schlepped into the pan. And as soon as she was lying down flat, help me with this. Grab the handles of the oven, open it up, push her in, and shut it fast. So that when Baba Yaga came home...
I'm hungry, you know, my belly groans. I want to eat the youths young. Schlep, what are you doing in the oven? You could have just turned up the heat if you were cold. Kvetch, come cook this youth. I'm gonna go make mischief. Oh, I don't believe it. I have to do everything. Around here. You know, anytime I want to do something, it's always me. Kvetch has to do it. Okay, youth, get in the pan.
Hey, I don't know how to, Miss Kvetch.
Just get into the pan.
Like this?
No.
Like this?
No, like this. Oh, I can't believe you don't know how to do it. Move, I'll show you how to do it. I can't believe it. I have to do this. I always have to do this.
And as soon as Kvetch lie down flat in the pan, help me out. Sasha opened the oven door and pushed her in and shut it tight. So that when Baba Yaga, the witch, came back,
I'm hungry, you know, my belly groans. I want to eat the youths young. Kvetch, schlep, what are you both doing in the oven? Look, girls, if you wanted a warm climate, I would have taken you to Disney World for a vacation, for heaven's sakes. Nudnik, come cook this youth.
But when Baba Yaga came back the 3rd time, guess what?
I'm hungry, you know, my belly groans. I want to eat the youths young. Schlep, Kvetch, Nudnik, I can't believe you are all in the oven, girls. I can't believe... Oh, boy. If you want to do anything right, you just got to do it yourself. Watch me. Youth, get in the pan.
Hey, Miss Yaga.
Baba Yaga to you.
Okay, Miss Baba Yaga, like this?
No!
Like this?
No!
Like this?
No, get down!
Okay, I'll get down.
No, I don't mean get down like that. Get down into the pan.
Hey, like this?
No!
Like this?
Move! Move! I'll show you!
And as soon as Baba Yaga the witch was lying flat in the pan, help me out, Sasha grabbed the oven door, opened it up, and thrust her. Now let's shut the oven. Ready? Very late that night. Oh dear, I don't think Sasha's ever coming home.
Meow. Poor Sasha. I guess he just opened his big mouth one too many times.
Look, he's coming up over the hill. He's coming up and he's got a bag on his back.
Well, maybe he brought us dinner.
Hey, my friends, tonight your bellies will not groan, 'cause for dinner we're gonna have witch's bones. You can be sure if you escape from a witch, you know how you're going to feel? You're going to feel like singing. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sing it again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Sasha loved to talk and talk. Into his mouth he couldn't put a sock, yet he proved to be sharper than a hawk. And you know how he felt? Glad to be who he was. Your turn. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. What I'm hoping you'll be able to do for me for next week is compare these really yummy European witch houses with what Baba Yaga's house might look like. So if you could draw that house with a fence made of human, and on each human bone was a... It stood on 1, 2, 3. The latch was made from a human. And the lock from human. Excellent! Sasha got into a lot of trouble, didn't he? But the funny thing is, he got out of trouble using the same thing that got him into trouble. Just happens that way. Well, I hope I get to read your stories and look at your pictures. You ready to sing with me? I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I'm a little smooth, I'm a little rough, I'm a little tender, I'm a little tough. We're all special people with a lot of love. I'm glad to be who I am. Sing it with me. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am again. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Here's the address to send all your stories and pictures to. Read it now on the screen. MCET 1 Kendall Square, Building 1500, Cambridge, Massachusetts. 02139. Put Vida Riley on it. And you know how she's going to feel? She's going to feel like, I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. Last time, I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. See you next time. Bye-bye, you guys.
I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am.
Riding my bike down a haunted hill. If the wind don't catch me, then nothing will. It don't much matter if I'm Jack or Jill. I'm glad to be who I am.
I'm so glad to be who I am, glad to be who I am. I'm so glad to